I turn it
Oh,
over to you.
all right. Thank you, Gail, and thank you, everybody. I'm just going to go ahead and hit my presentation screen and just make sure we have thumbs up.
Ah!
Just make sure everybody can see what I'm showing. Is that right? Thumbs up if you can see that. Good. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. If you joined our first quarterly town hall last year, thank you very much. And even more, thank you for joining our second town hall, which is the first of 2026. We are going to be
Ah!
covering our story, our fight, and our future. Basically just covering everything that we have been able to accomplish in the last 90 days, and then also looking forward, things that we have planned for not only the Q1 in 2026, but also for the rest of the year. We might hit some highlights as well. So I have a lot of interesting things coming tonight. I'm really excited. Myself, again, is Teresa Chikowitz. I'm out of Michigan, Grand Rapids, Michigan. I lost my father to the deadly hospital protocols at the end of 2021, like many of all of you. So I look forward to going through the presentation tonight. You are going to find our website throughout the presentation if you want to kind of search it while we're going through it at betrayalprojectusa.org. You're going to find a lot of things that we're talking about there. So feel free to have a look. We'd love you to go do that and check everything that we have out there. And then we're going to be getting through some housekeeping items in just a moment. However, before we do there, I just want to cover some of the agenda points, what we're really hoping to cover in the course of the meeting today. Number one, about our organization, who we are, what do we do, and how do we achieve change? What is our plan for that? We're going to be covering our mission, primarily for the main points and our priorities as well. We're going to be touching on our 12 committees and also a summary of each, as well as who heads up those committees, our 12 board members and our trustees. Then each of the board members that the chairs of those boards are going to be going through what they accomplished in the last 90 days, and then also what we hope to accomplish looking forward, our action plan. Of course, we're fighting a war on many battles, so we need many different teams fighting along side, working together to accomplish those goals. Then Gail's going to take you through a demo of our website where she's going to highlight how we can collect any news stories. And then also, if you're interested in joining or have a wish to get involved, there's also a form on our website. You can volunteer for any of the committees as well. Please have a look there, and you can submit those forms even while we're talking today. And then one of our board members will get back to you as well. And then finally, at the end of it, there's going to be an opportunity for Q&A. So you could, of course, put them through the duration. If you don't want to forget it, you can send it in the chat along, through the course of the presentation. Otherwise, you can ask it at the end. Okay, that's what we're hoping to accomplish tonight. Before we get started, just a few things. If you're new to Zoom, most people have used Zoom, but just a few things. We're asking everybody just to stay on mute because we have a lot of speakers coming in and out tonight. So if you stay on mute, that will help to reduce the background noise for us. Excuse me. And then again, I just already mentioned, hold the questions if we can till the end or post them in the chat. We do have several moderators that are looking throughout that, so they might be able to immediately answer questions as you might have them. So feel free to post them in there and they'll probably likely address them right away. Finally, we also have, there's a participant section at the lower part of your screen. When we get to the Q&A section, feel free to raise your hand there and we'll call on you in that order. Next, we're going to be talking about our FAQs. Gail's going to walk you through on our website where you can find those as well as some other documents as well. And then anything else that you are interested in obtaining. If you don't see it on there, of course, we'll be able to work with you to get some information out to you. We just want to respect, this is a town hall, a little bit different than a debate forum, so we ask everybody to respect all the speakers and participants that come in and out. The chat etiquette, just we're asking not to spam in there if you can. Again, our moderators will monitor that. And then finally, if you see any trolls, don't engage them. Our moderators are looking out for them. So although we welcome everyone to this town hall, we really want to share our message to everyone. So occasionally we do get a troll or two. So don't be alarmed. We'll take care of that. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and kick it off now. And before we do that, I'm going to start off with just a moment of reflection. And usually all of our town halls will take a minute just to of what we've accomplished in the last 90 days and looking forward. And I found this quote: I can do things you cannot, and you can do things that I cannot, but together we can do great things. And of course, we know that through God, all things are possible, but also working together for a common goal. We've been able to really make a lot of traction, even in the first 90 days. You're going to see everything that we've accomplished, and again, we're stronger together. So we hope that you'll join our fight and you'll join our committees and help us, even if it's sharing our stories or your stories with us. That is the best thing that you can do. So thank you. All right. So I'm going to go just take a step back at the beginning here and tell you a little bit about our organization. If it's your first time joining us tonight, Betrayal Project USA is national. It's a little bit different in that we are a victim-led nonprofit organization. So everyone on our board member has been impacted by the tragedy of the hospital protocol abuses and institutional medical betrayal. Our board is made up of individuals who, as I mentioned, who've lost the loved ones to the deadly protocols across the country. So we've collected and preserved, we know about 1,000, at least over 1,000, and probably more than that already, of victims and families. And so we're out to educate the public about what happened in those hospitals and effectively fight for justice. We want to have policy reform and provide transparency about what's going on. So our mission, though it is centered on the hospital protocols, certainly it goes beyond COVID. And so we're working to expose a lot of the betrayal that happened in other areas, government overreach, censorship, and coercion. So we support victims. We really want to give everybody, those victims, a platform and a voice to be able to share their story, but most importantly, to grow our movement to ensure that this never happens again. These crimes against humanity are not forgotten, and we never want them repeated. We are a 501c3, and then very soon we are pending for a 501c4 to take on political action. You can find our EIN number on our website or by contacting us as well. On our website, Gail's going to walk you through this a little bit later, but the main point is we want to take you through the many stories that we've collected of the hospital protocol deaths. We've been able to identify at least 25 tactics that were coordinated in almost every single story that were consistent across the board. And so these tactics were used as we call a modus operandi during COVID. And one of the main things that you're going to see on our playbook, number one, is that all of our every single victim was refused outpatient treatment, which effectively led to a lot of the other tactics that were used. So if they were able to effectively get outpatient treatment and get early treatment for COVID, we wouldn't be in the same spot that we're in today. And so it led that our loved ones were taken to the hospital. Isolation tactics were used where they weren't allowed their loved ones near them to help make critical decisions about what medications they would receive or other things that they needed to decide together. Denied rights. They weren't, they were unable to sign. A lot of our records weren't signed at all. The staff falsely claimed verbal consent to the treatment was provided. So, I know in the case of my father, nothing was signed. You look at his records, and of course, he wasn't told about remdesivir that he was injected with. So no informed consent. He was discriminated against vaccination, like many of the stories as well. And then finally, rapid oxygen escalation as well. They were often put on a BiPAP immediately and then later intubated as well. So you're going to find 25 tactics on our website called the Deadly Hospital Playbook. Have a look there and see if you recognize any in your own story or if you know somebody who that happened to. Our vision, we want to support victims, as I mentioned, give them a voice to grow the movement. We have to make sure that the highest levels of our nation know what happened to our loved ones so that they're never forgotten. And most importantly, we're out for accountability. We want everyone to know what happened. And so our mission is we have 4 main points in our mission. The first is to pursue accountability, as I just mentioned, through reform, through action and public awareness. The second is to support the eyewitnesses. So the victims, everyone who's online today, if you've lost a loved one, you're an eyewitness. So we want to collect those stories. And you're going to hear from our team members later on as well on how we do that. We document, investigate, and raise awareness. So we're out on public platforms as well. You're going to see some of that tonight as well. And most importantly, we want to make sure that we honor our loved ones and recognize the dignity, suffering, and the resilience of the family. So we really want to make sure that our loved ones are recognized and honored. Our core priorities, I'm going to hand this over now to Gail just to address our core priorities.
Thank you, Teresa. Yeah, so So obviously, our number one priority is raising public awareness by exposing, what the hospitals did to our loved ones and to 1.6 million people or more, and how the vaccines played a role and killed people and were connected with the protocols. That's our number one because for as long as the world doesn't believe it happened. The world is in danger of it happening again. Our kids, our grandkids, our family. Um, it, you don't look out for or stop what you don't believe happened. And so, and then the second priority, um, that's supporting victims. And so our support groups are strictly support groups. It is the safest place that people can bare their soul because it's all individuals who were impacted. And that's very important to us to create that place of comfort where people are believed and they don't have to they don't have to share their grief and have it turned into mocked or anything like that. So that's our second priority. Pursuing accountability is certainly accountability comes in many ways, and we use the word accountability instead of justice intentionally because justice is very individual. It means something different to every individual. We absolutely want accountability. We want it to be admitted to and have, accountability, just accountability, right? So that's going to happen in a lot of ways. It's very broad, very big, and that's important. And then recognizing the victims and honoring the souls who were taken from this earth. We want to do this in a respectful, honest way. We're not going to sugarcoat what happened. So we're going to do this in a respectful, honest way that both honors the person who lived and the value that the value that they had when they were here, and let the world know what was truly lost. And for survivors, we also want to recognize the pain that they went through and the pain that they live with, sometimes physical, sometimes emotional, sometimes both. But there's a cost, and a huge cost at that. And so go ahead to the next slide, you can, Teresa.
Yeah, thank you. Taking now a look at what our core committees in order to accomplish some of the things that we just were talking about with Gail, we formed our core committees, and they are the Accountability Committee as to investigate, document, and pursue justice. So you're going to be hearing from Lori Madigan in a bit to show how we're seeking accountability and holding people accountable. So the next is the Military Outreach by Brad Huckleberry Seiler, and that the purpose is to connect the military focused medical freedom initiatives to identify families whose loved ones were killed in the military, base hospitals under deadly COVID protocols, and engage the whistleblowers who can expose the truth. So we believe a lot of things happen in the military beforehand. You're going to hear from Brad about that as well, what we're doing to try to collect those stories. You're going to hear from Gail about our website and content to oversee the design and content and build out our communication there so that everyone can access it. You're going to hear from our material and promotions committee. You're going to hear from Brianna there. She's going to show you how we develop our content, our branding materials, and our messaging. Our fundraising by Ellie Hayes to show how we're reaching out to help support our mission as well. She's got some interesting things to go over tonight. Our eyewitness accounts and documentation as well to collect, preserve, and share basically all the stories, right? That we really need to collect those stories. So you're going to be hearing from our team on that one, both Heidi and Gail. And then our outreach and partnerships, who we're working with, our third party people that we're reaching out to, the news media, to establish collaborations, manage media, to expand our footprint in the public, right? And then lastly, our victim support and engagement to provide emotional support, our support calls on Monday nights, resources, and direct engagement with the victims as well. So you're going to be hearing from our board members on all of those. Now, meeting who's in charge of those board members, let's go ahead and meet our team, right? You've met many of them already. Gail Seiler, our president, as well, of course. Brad Huckleberry Seiler, as I mentioned, our treasurer. Myself, Teresa Chickwitz, vice president. Donna Spakes, our secretary. Mick Grisato, who's the co-chair of Outreach, Lori Madigan for Accountability, Brianna McDowell Ross for Materials, Dr. Patty Giuliano, very happy to have her victim support and engagement, Heidi Bond in our Outreach and Partnerships, Jenny Rodriguez for the Eyewitness Documentation, Ali Hayes for Fundraising, and Janie Andrews, Accountability Co-Chair. So that is our team. So now I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Gail for a word from our president. Thanks, Gail.
Thank you, Teresa. So, okay, so I want to start with just a huge thank you to the board, all of those people that you just saw. 2025, we had a lot of work to do just to get structured and set up and get the tools that we needed to move forward. And I really appreciate the sacrifice that went behind the work. All of these people, while carrying, a pain themselves, they worked late nights, heavy emotional labor. This was a labor of love by far. And even reliving trauma while building something meaningful. We had to work through anniversary dates and all of those things. And the board, they didn't just show up in 2025. They left it all on the battlefield. They accomplished so much that when I looked back at 2025, I was floored. I didn't even feel it while we were going through it, because it's true what they say, many hands make light work. And it's amazing, what people can accomplish when they don't care who gets the credit. Like, they all just worked as a team, smooth, supported each other. If somebody was down, they lifted them up. It was amazing. And so we finished 2025 very strong. We launched systems. We got all of our tools in place. Our website, the team did an amazing job. I just it looks great, and it's all built out and adding more things. We worked through the intakes, did interviews, um, podcasts, all these things, and so they did a great job building a presence and credibility. One thing that was very impressive is they really took the walking the talk extremely serious. Like, I mean, they like when we say we're going to do something, we're going to do it, and we're going to make sure we support each other and pick each other up when they're down. So I was really impressed. Good job, guys. Um, and so, and that was hard because, sometimes when you're in this movement, you're attacked, you're dismissed, you're told you're lying, you're whatever it is. You just kind of brush it off and you keep moving forward, like, like water off a duck's back. And I was really proud of how everybody held their own. And with that, I'm acknowledging a lot of the people on this board. They're still grieving, they're still healing. A lot of the volunteers that helped us, that showed up, they just choose action over silence, which is very impressive. And I also want to thank all of the people in the community who trusted us with their stories and continue to trust us with your stories, who shared the links, who came to the X spaces, who come to the meetings, who volunteer doing just anything. And especially, those who commented, reposted, prayed for us, donated, quietly watched, and those of you who sent me and others on this board these random words of encouragement. You will never know how much that meant. And the times that it just randomly hit was incredible. It was like a lot of times it would just make me smile, because it would be like on the hardest day, I would just get a random thank you or a random thinking about you. It's very nice. And we know what it costs to trust again after being betrayed. We get it. We all get it. We've all been there. And we don't take that trust lightly. We don't. Every single one of us. We appreciate that trust, and we're not going to lose that trust. So this movement doesn't just belong to the board. It belongs to every single family who said, "This happened to us too, and I'm not going to be silent anymore." And there's a lot of you out there. And so going into 2026, one of our biggest, one of the things we're most focused on is we are going to take the enemy, the opposition, head on. We are going to fight back against things like gaslighting, the denial, all of the American democide hospital Holocaust deniers out there. We're gonna confront that head on because it's leading to more deaths. It's leading to no justice. It's leading to just it didn't happen. Just move on. Why won't you move on already? We're gonna take all of that head on, and we're also gonna take head on the old concept of I got this from the vaccine group. They said, they had to take on anything the fact that every time somebody got hurt or died, it was anything but the vaccine. Well, we're going to call it ABP, anything but the protocols, because we hear that comorbidities, blah 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 blah. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna take that head on. We're not gonna politely go away. And kind of our battle cry is going to be like, we're no longer asking to be believed. We are making denial impossible. Impossible. We don't want anybody to be able to hide behind or claim plausible deniability. We're going to end plausible deniability. So legislators will know, media will know, institutions will know, the public will know. We need to get all of the real stories, real video, real audio, documentation, everything that we can put together that everybody out there has. And we need to put it out there in a way and make it go viral and make them look at it. Make them look at it. It seems like a very simple thing, but we have to work around the algorithms, and we have to give people real examples. I saw a video go absolutely viral last week of a pregnant woman being forced to get a shot, a COVID shot. Held down, 17, held down, wouldn't wait for her mother. That went viral because it was a real person being violated. And so we're going to put as much of that information out there and examples out there that we can, videos, whatever, real stuff. The goal is simple. At the end of before that, no one gets to say they didn't know it was happening or they didn't know it happened. Accountability doesn't always start with the courts. It starts with exposure. So the other key thing we're going to do is reclaim the language and the truth. We're going to, words matter. Andrew Breitbart always said, words matter. Words mean things. Words shape perception. Perception shapes accountability. We saw this play out in the Gray Shara trial and other people who have tried to get past a jury. The jury just, they had this bias, this confirmation bias that they couldn't get past, and a bad judge, but they had a confirmation bias. So we're going to ask people to be intentional with words. We're going to be intentional with words. We're going to gently, correct each other, right? Because we all fall into it. But we're going to make sure that people know they didn't die of COVID. They didn't die because they had comorbidities. They didn't die because they weren't unvaccinated or because, of any other thing. They died because of incentivized protocols and intentional acts and decisions that were made at the C-suite level and administrative level of these hospitals and our government. If somebody were shot, we wouldn't say the cause of death was blood loss. We wouldn't say, technically, sure, all bleeding stops eventually, but we wouldn't say that. We wouldn't say if they were poisoned with rat poisoning that they died of a heart attack. Technically, yes, but the intentional act of poisoning caused it. Those two things would still be labeled a homicide. So it should be the same with the doctors. So precision is power. Words are the battlefield where truth either survives or truth disappears. And we're going to make sure truth survives. There was a chemist and he was a Holocaust survivor who actually put this whole concept out as a moral obligation of the world after World War II. And with a simple statement, it happened, therefore it can happen again. And that's very true. So we are going to name what happened, because forgetting what happened or sugarcoating what happened is exactly how it happens again and again. And so we are going to move forward with momentum and in unity with a lot of groups that we are creating partnerships with. This is not over. It is far from over. Our work is only expanding. The job is huge. And none of us on this board, none of us in our group of thousands of friends has ever stopped a democide or a Holocaust before, right? Like this is our first time. So we got to think outside of the box, and we got to just keep going forward. And when we make a mistake, correct. But we do have more eyes that are watching, and there is a lot of momentum. We're seeing it in DC. We're partnering with many others in the fight who are great allies. They're fighting the same monster, just for a different reason. And we will never quit, because every single morning we put on the armor of God, the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the shoes of peace, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit. So if you are here tonight, or you are watching this after the fact when we put it out on our Rumble channel, you're already part of the story, and we're just getting started. We didn't survive this to stay quiet, but also remember, our goal is not bloodthirst revenge. It is remembrance, acknowledgement, and accountability, but we want it to be with consequences. And I've put down here something else that we're going to keep at the top of our mind as we go through the next year. What goes unnamed becomes acceptable, and what is forgotten becomes repeatable, and that shows out every single time. So back to you, Teresa.
Thank you, Gail. Appreciate that message. That was really great. Thank you. So now we're going to turn the table a little bit and now take a look at what we've been able to come up with and what we were able to accomplish in the last 90 days, and also looking forward. So we're going to hear from our committees, and the first committee that we're going to hear from is the Materials and Promotional Committee with Brianna McDowell Ross. Brianna?
I don't know if Brianna's on. Are you on?
What we
Okay, there's Brianna. There, now we can hear you. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Perfect.
Oh, okay. You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Hey, y'all. My name is Brianna, the Materials and Promotions Committee. And
You're really breaking up, Brianna.
what we
Yeah, Brianna, nobody can hear. You're breaking up.
You know what I can do? I can skip ahead to the next slide and just come back if you want to fix your audio, yeah? I can skip ahead and we'll come back to this one. No worries. Yeah?
Yeah, just kind of log back in.
Yeah, I'll skip ahead to the next slide and we'll circle back, Brianna. No worries. All right, we're going to head on over to Ellie Hayes from the Fundraising Committee.
Surprise, Ellie.
Oh, I think you're still on mute there.
Okay, you got to unmute. I sent you a request to unmute.
There we go. Is that better?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay. All right. Now let me get my computer's picked back. Okay. Hi, guys. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Well, I want to thank you all for being here tonight, truly. Thank you for continuing to show up, not just for meetings, not just for updates, but for the mission, for the families, and for the truth this organization exists to protect. Before I begin, I want to pause and thank God for the strength to do this work, for the people in this room, and for the purpose that continues to guide the Betrayal Project. Sorry. Even through the hardest moments, none of us are here by accident, and I believe deeply that this work matters. Before I talk about numbers, campaigns, or goals, I want to ground us in why this work exists at all. My brother Andy should still be here. That simple. Truth connects me to so many families represented by the Betrayal Project, and I know I'm not alone in that feeling. What followed Andy's death, it wasn't just grief. It was confusion, silence, and the realization that when systems fail, families are often left without resources, guidance, or support, not even to begin to even ask the right questions or who to ask them to. And that's where fundraising stops being transactional and starts being strategic. The fundraising committee exists to ensure that Truth has a platform, that families have support, and that this organization is not operating on passion alone, but on sustainability. Because awareness without infrastructure doesn't last, and justice without funding, it doesn't move. I don't approach fundraising as sales. I approach it as stewardship. Stewardship of stories, stewardship of trust, and stewardship of a mission that deserves to be resourced properly, carefully, ethically, and with intention. The role of the fundraising committee is to initiate, plan, and execute fundraising campaigns and opportunities that align with our missions and values. That includes evaluating potential campaigns through a clear cost-benefit lens, coordinating donors, and stewardship, assisting with the grant research and writing, and collaborating closely with the promotional and outreach committees to ensure our messaging remains ethical, accurate, and mission-focused. Our goal is not to just raise funds. It is to do so in a way that honors the people behind the stories and respects the family who trusted us with them. Over the past 90 days, we've built important momentum. We formally established leadership within the committee, with me, myself being the chair, and Teresa is the co-chair, creating clear structure, accountability, and direction. We partnered closely with the website committee to successfully launch our online shop, creating a direct pathway for both digital and physical products to support the mission. All right, can we show the next slide, the lantern slide?
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll talk about that for just a quick minute.
Yeah.
I can't. All right. One of our most impactful initiatives was the Digital Memorial Lantern campaign. That campaign resonated because it wasn't generic fundraising. It honored real people, real stories, and real loss. And it confirmed something important, that when we fundraise with intention, people respond. We also began researching grants, affiliated programs, and giving platforms, and established clear fundraising goals so we can measure progress and scale responsibly, not retroactively. Looking ahead, our focus is growth with intention for the next 90 days. We will continue developing additional digital campaigns and select physical products, always prioritizing personalization, dignity, and meaning over volume. We'll further build out the shop so it better reflects the full scope of our mission and the families we serve. Grant research will move into action where appropriate, alongside donor outreach and stewardship to strengthen long-term support. And we're beginning sponsor outreach for key projects and events, ensuring partnership align not just with funding needs, but with our values and purpose. Now, how can you help? I know you all want to ask me that. That's what you're going to say. Fundraising is not the responsibility of one committee alone. It is a shared effort. You can help by sharing mission within your own networks, supporting our campaigns, shopping with purpose, and connecting us with donors or sponsors who believe in this work. And if you have ideas, creative, strategic, or unconventional, we want to hear them. The fundraising committee, it's not a closed door, believe me. Anybody that knows me, we are not a closed door. It is an open table. Sometimes I'm a little grumpy, but sometimes we all are. I just want to close with this. Every dollar raised represents belief in families who were told to stay quiet, believe in accountability, and belief that truth deserves resources. Andy's story brought me here. This mission, it keeps me here definitely. We survived the storm, and together we're building a lighthouse, trusting it will guide others safely out of the darkness. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellie. Really appreciate that. And what we're looking at right now, you were mentioning, is on the left was a lantern. Really, you did incredible work creating the lanterns for all of our loved ones. And what was really cool about them is that you can pick up to 3 different unique items that was special to that person. And so, Andy, on the left, we can see, I think, a fishing pole, Mountain Dew, so some of the different things that were that he really loved. And so, if anybody's still interested in these are still on our website. They're still possible to get yours. I think Lori also compiled a little video showing a collage of many different lanterns that go to music. So go check them out if you're interested in. We'd love to get you one as well. Thank you. And thanks again, Ellie, for all your work.
Thanks to everybody.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and go back now to Brianna, to our materials and promotional. Go right ahead, Brianna. Oh, you might need to unmute there.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can. Yep. Much better. Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's that room. Okay. Hey, y'all. I'm Brianna. Excuse me. And I'm representing the Materials and Promotional Committee. We have been busy and we didn't get to present at the last town hall. So I'm kind of going to go over what we did in the last 180 days. But for our responsibilities and what we do, we develop content, branding materials, and messaging to promote the mission and the values of our organization. We design flyers, graphics, brochures, social media visuals, produce print and digital campaigns for awareness and events. And we collaborate with merchandising and fundraising teams on promotional products. So we also help manage brand consistency across all the different platforms that we are on. And so the last 90 to 180 days, we have done a lot. We have designed the FAQ, the brochures, and the flyers, which you can get on the website. And Gail's going to go more into that later. They're amazing. And I think Teresa's pulling it up.
Yeah, here we go. Sorry.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, sorry. Oh, yay. Thank you. And they're beautiful. And that's okay. So I can't take credit. I have an amazing team. Donna is so talented, with all this graphic stuff and this design. I just can't. I'm in awe every time, every day, of everyone on this board and their talents and gifts. But Donna does this amazing design, and Ellie also does a lot of the design and a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about. But and I really appreciate that because they are incredible, multi-talented. So we also created the promotional materials for the X Spaces team, and that is Saturdays at 3, those X Spaces. We also Ellie converted photographs to digital hugs. And I think a lot of people on here have gotten one of these hugs. And if not, contact us and let us know. But I think Teresa was going to pull up a hug. I'm sorry, I have to keep flipping screens to see on my phone. But yeah, and she'll have that going.
That's my favorite one.
And let's see. Oh, yes.
So yeah, go ahead, Brianna.
Yeah, and so Ellie created that out of a picture. I mean, it's just incredible. And using the tools that she knows how to do. And so created visual, and we also created visual and written content for the website. And that goes back to Donna as well. And the resources section in the news, FAQ, digital downloads, Gail's going to go over that stuff. And so in the next 90 days, we're ambitious. We are starting strong. We're going to grow our Substack. We want to actually grow the Substack. We want to grow our subscribers. We also want to promote the Substack. And we also want to create educational and thought-provoking material, not just, garbage. So we also are doing a lot of these already: commercials, shorts, reels, videos, memes, designed to educate the public with real life examples like our stories and reclaim the narrative. It's all about the narrative. We want to shatter those false narratives and motivate the public to demand accountability. It's really like our own propaganda campaign, right? Like we're like the anti-propaganda propaganda. It's the information war, right? So we also are going to. I'm starting taking something new on. A lot of people have been begging me to do a TikTok. So I think what better to start with than us, than the Betrayal Project. So I'm going to start on that and build and promote our brand on a new platform. And some of us are going to try to get trained to do some of these incredible things that Ellie and Donna do. Maybe not do to their level, but we're going to be using Canva in training on some new stuff. So a few of the committee members we already planned, or they've already started training on some of these new programs so we can be even more efficient and productive on our team. And so the last thing is the Music for the Movement channel. We've got this on, and Teresa, if you could please, my Vanna White, pull that up.
You got
and
it.
It's amazing. It's Heidi does these amazing songs, and she takes your stories, all of our stories, and makes songs for each person. When we do our stories, come tell your story on our page. You get a song, and or you can reach out to us, and if you just want a song, and we can figure it out. But it's called Music for the Movement channel on Rumble, right? Rumble. And it's amazing. That's where you can find the collection. But we try to post and promote them. Heidi's amazing at that on X. She's got the X. I'm on Facebook more. We all got our things, but she's always posting stuff and getting tons of hits. So yeah, she's our superstar with that. And it's just amazing work that I'm just so proud and grateful to this committee. Y'all are just, I'm in awe of you, and I really thank you. And anyone on here that wants to join, or how you can get involved, you can join our committee. You can go on the website and fill out a form to join. You can also start sharing our stuff, sharing your story. I'm sorry, I lost it a little bit. Share your suggestions, ideas, feedback, wish items. Share our Substack, our newsletter, articles. Share. Distribute flyers in person. And those you can get, the physical stuff you can get on the website. And again, Gail's going to go more into that in a minute. And is that the last one? Because I've lost.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I lost it. Okay, good. Yay. So,
Thanks, Brianna. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks for walking through again the materials. Gail's going to show you where you guys can retrieve them on our website in a little bit, but thanks for showing the visuals. I know that Donna and a lot of the team, Ellie, everybody put together. So thank you. And if anybody needs materials, just send us a note. We're happy to work to create whatever you need to help an event that you're working on. Okay. So thanks again, Brianna. Great work. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, all of you.
I'm going to now shift gears a little bit and head over to our accountability committee, which is chaired by Lori Madigan.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lori Madigan with the Accountability Committee. I'm the chairperson. The responsibilities of this committee are to engage with experts. We recommend accountability actions and public statements. We monitor relevant legislature, and we compile evidence of wrongdoing. Some of the things that we've accomplished in the last 90 days was a call to action to write your state representatives to support the PrEP Repeal Act, and the other one was to obtain co-sponsors for the Essential Caregivers Act. So in the next 90 days, we want to brainstorm and find ways to weaken the PrEP Act. We need to remove those protections. The PrEP Repeal Act that we did the call to action for, it's dead. It doesn't have enough support to go anywhere. So nobody's talking about it or working on it. So we really need to find a way to weaken the PrEP Act. The other one that we're working on is the Moving Forward Coalition for the Essential Caregivers Act. That one has a lot of momentum, a lot of co-sponsors. We're asking that you respond to the emails, share the information, click on the link and populate it with your state representatives and hit send. It will notify your representatives that you support it. So please support that. It is to not leave alone your loved ones in long-term care facilities. So this is a great stepping stone. I'm going to be on VinDog Radio tomorrow with the Moving Forward Coalition to promote this bill. So check it out tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also partnering with several other groups on meaningful legislation. It has a lot to do with like the Never Alone Project types of things, like not leaving our loved ones alone in the hospital, not isolating them. That was a big impact for nearly all of us. I lost my husband this way, and we all know how it feels. It's horrible to die alone. So we need to partner and get that legislation. That one happens to be on the state level. So one of the things that we're also doing is evaluating language. It's very, very important. A lot of these bills have poison pills, as you would call them, or wording that actually winds up restricting us instead of helping us. So we're being very careful with what we endorse or working with them to reword things. That's very important to pay attention to that. So how you can help, please join my committee. Share the information. Tell your story. If you don't want it documented and you just want to tell us about it and use a photo, we'll share your story. But let us be your voice, or be your voice with us. Respond to the calls to action, share the information. You don't have to have lost a loved one to participate in this and want this legislation. This is for all of us. The Never Alone Project and isolation of for the Essential Caregivers Act, isolation in long-term care facilities, like that's for the nation. Represent your state, contact your state representatives and ask them for support on all these topics. And then let us know what's happening in your state. How can we help you? So that's all.
Thank you, Lori. And you guys may have seen Lori around. She's done a lot of different interviews for us as well, sitting on various committees, other committees as well. In addition to this, we were very thankful for the coverage of the Great Shara trial, Lori heading out there and representing Betrayal Project and all of us. So thanks again, Lori, for all your work on this. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to shift gears now a little bit and head over to the Eyewitness and Documentation Committee, and we're going to hear from Heidi and Gail while our new chair, Jenny Rodriguez, is taking over, but we're going to hear from Heidi first. So Heidi, over to you.
Thank you, Teresa. Hi, everybody. I'm Heidi Bond. I was brought into this fight after my best friend, Lupe Espinosa, was killed in Clovis Community Hospital in California. The damage to her body was so extreme that she bled from her eyes. Over the last 90 days, I have served as chair of the Eyewitness and Documentation Committee, with Gail Seidler as co-chair. Going forward, Jenny Rodriguez will be stepping into the chair role, and Gail and I will be continuing as co-chairs. I as primary and Gail as backup. This committee is really the backbone to everything we do. Responsibilities and activities. Our committee owns the most critical work of this organization, protecting the stories, protecting the evidence, and protecting the people. We are responsible for creating secure systems so survivors can safely share their stories without fear. That means industry standard security, professional data handling, and trusted partners to ensure nothing is lost or compromised. We also conduct interviews and help victims turn lived experience into valuable testimony, whether that's a full interview, a written statement, or a 3-minute version somebody needs to give to legislators or the media. We can help with preparing you. Equally important is archiving. These stories and documents are evidence. We maintain organized archives so they cannot be erased, rewritten, or memory held. And we prepare materials for public release through articles, videos, memorials, and future projects led by other committees. Accomplishments over the first 90 days. In just 90 days, we've made enormous progress. First, we significantly enhanced our website. We now have 3 clear intake paths: harmed or killed by hospital protocols, vaccine injury or death, and other medical betrayal. This matters because medical freedom stories don't fit into one box, and we want every family to know there's a place for their experience. We also redesigned the intake and story pages to be much more user-friendly. Submitting a story is no longer intimidating. It's simple, guided, and respectful of where people are emotional. In terms of real impact, we have 55 stories that have been submitted, 31 interviews completed, about 20 more currently in progress, all within 90 days. We also took a targeted amplification approach, working closely with outreach and media teams to ensure stories didn't just get published, they got seen. Finally, we built an interview team. We currently have 2 trained interviewers and 1 more in training, which allows us to scale without losing care or quality. All of this lays the groundwork for what comes next. Gil is going to walk you through where we're headed in the next 90 days and how each of you can help us get there. Thank you.
Thanks, Heidi. Yeah, so what we've accomplished in, just in the last 90 days, really it exceeds my what I thought was possible, especially in this space. I mean, it tells us something more important, that people are ready for this movement. People are ready to stop being silent. People are ready to have their voices heard, and we're seeing a lot of excitement around that. So the next 90 days, our top priority is going to remain expanding the reach. Governments, no government officials, and the public, nobody panics over 20 stories or 100 stories or even hundreds. But they do when the number becomes thousands and tens of thousands. And we know the number of victims is out there to get those real life stories out. The real life stories are what are going to move the needle. Nobody can say that they're hypothetical situations or they didn't happen when you're putting real facts, real recordings, real stories, real people in front of everybody's face. So our goal is to actively find, encourage, and support and help promote any victims who are willing to share their stories, and on as many platforms as possible. I'm a big one for saying, tell your story everywhere. And I don't care if the platform has 5 listeners or 50,000 listeners, every single person that will tell your story. And I hope you'll start with documenting your story with us and sitting down with an interview, and then us connecting you with some of the podcasters that we know are willing to tell our stories. The other thing is the way we conduct interviews, we don't just record you telling your story. We want to tell stories in a way that move people to act. So we want the world to respond to what they feel. We want them to feel something and respond when they hear your story. So we always say the world won't care until it happens to somebody they know or they love. So we spend the time in your story, in the beginning, telling the people who your loved one was, showing them the life and the value, and getting, just so they by the time you talk about what happened, they feel like it happened to somebody that they know. And by the time that you're done, we want them to feel that same gut punch that you felt when it happened. And so that is how we get the world to react and take part in this, and they will be compelled to stop it from happening again. The numbers will scare the politicians because a lot of them don't have a heart. So I don't expect them to feel anything. That's all cynical me. And so the other thing is documenting and archiving the evidence. We're helping families we're helping them organize proof of crimes against humanity, medical records, timelines, testimonies. So archiving needs to happen in a lot of places so that it can never disappear. So if anybody out there has experience with archiving and archiving tools and archiving websites, please reach out, because we could use your help, not just your guidance, but your expertise, and build a team to actually do the archiving. And so and then we're going to amplify these stories. Like we talked about the music for the movement, some of those, go very far, but we're going to find all these different ways on X Spaces, interviews, every channel, putting them on every channel, doing reels, getting everything out there. Because the stories, they won't speak for themselves. We have to get them out there. And so we're going to focus on what will amplify, what will catch people's attention, and how you can help us be successful. Tell your story. If you haven't gone to betrayalprojectusa.org and documented your story, document it, sit down with an interview. If you know somebody who is afraid to tell their story, they're uncomfortable, they're scared, and they want to tell their story, be a story ambassador. Help them tell their story. It's okay if you sit in on their interview and they sit in on your interview and they're just a friendly face. We have a gazillion ways to overcome fears and make things easy, whether it's taking pauses during the parts of we can do a lot of things. We can do a mock run, and we can we can help organize that story. So don't be afraid. We'll find ways to help you. And then spread the stories that are out there. We're still fighting censorship. We need to sharing over and over again, and liking breaks the algorithms, and it breaks the silence once that happens. And like I said earlier, take back the narrative. Words matter. Murder does not become a mistake or medical error just because murder or homicide is uncomfortable to say. We need to speak plainly. If it was hospital homicide, we need to say it. If it was medical coercion, we need to say it. If it was institutional betrayal, we need to say it. Using soft language and sugarcoating it, that not only protects the perpetrators, but they're getting bigger paychecks because of all the money they made for hospitals. So we need to take that. And then pray and speak boldly. Pray for the victims, pray for the truth, use your voice, be bold, to call this what it was. This was an injustice. This was a crime. And so this year, we're going to stop letting others tell our story for us. We're going to name what happened and refuse to forget. And we will be the ones telling our stories over and over again and supporting each other to tell their stories. Thanks. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Gail. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go to the next slide here. And our Outreach and Partnership Committee, Gail, I think you're going to be giving us an update. Formerly, it was Heidi there, but I think you're going to be going and give us an
Oh,
update.
yeah. Let me put my other hat on. Okay, so Heidi Bond is going to be taking over this committee for the next 90 days as Jenny slips into her spot on the eyewitness and responsibilities. So basically this committee is about forming partnerships with influencers, podcasters, survivor networks, other organizations that are doing the same thing that we're doing. And we've done a lot, like we've made a lot of those connections this year. So I'm really excited. We coordinate interviews, different kind of interviews, the interviews with the media and press opportunities and that type of thing, not just for us and our board members, but for victims as well. This is the committee that would make those connections. So we also draft the newsletters, the Substack, we manage it, not so much draft everything. We do this in partnership with other committees. The public updates. We build strategic alliances that will help us grow, like with the like with Dr. Klesick and the brain dead folks, the vaccine groups, Marsha Joyner's murder by hospice, Laura Bartlett's I do not consent form. Like all of those are those relationships that we've put together, and they help us grow. And we put together the X team, the X Space team, and events. So in the last 90 days, I was really shocked what we did. So we increased our Substack by 150 subscribers. That was amazing to me. And we ended up on a lot of other people's Substacks, which was great. Those partnerships really matter. We put together an X Spaces team. We ended up moving the time on Saturday to 3 p.m. because people like to go out in the sunshine, which is good for them. Everybody's trying to get healthier. We have grown the audience, awareness, opportunities, expanded the topics. The partnerships I already talked about. We are going to be collaborating on more projects with those partners. We added a resource section to the website, which I'm going to show you in the website demo. We want that to be a place that you can go and get useful things that you need. All of the things that you contact us or call us for, that we're constantly sending out the links. We're putting it there, categorizing it, organizing it so that you can just go out there and find. And if you don't find it, then you call us and we'll find what you're looking for and add it. And then the music for the movement, that was huge. That is, this committee turns the stories into songs and gets them out there. And some of these stories, people do their story. They not only have huge reach, but they have great healing power. If you are the recipient of one of these songs, you told your story, you got your song. I know I'm behind. I got a few more to put together into videos, but then you know how healing it is and how right on point Heidi gets it. And some of these songs have hit like 30, 40, 50,000 views. Like Heidi shares them everywhere. We share them on all the platforms. And they have huge reach. People love to watch the story in a song. So it's great. So the next 90 days, we're going to grow the Substack readership. We're going to collaborate on some things, get the truth out, create some, just creating quality content. X Spaces, we're going to focus on topics that engage the public, but also amplify victim testimonies. We're going to partner with other X Space hosts and other groups to get a unified medical freedom type institutional betrayal message out there on all sides of it, whether it's CPS taking kids for medical, for parents making medical choices. We've done the brain death. We're going to do the hospice deaths. it's all connected. It's all connected. So we're going to grow our audience and get our partners involved. We're going to develop outreach campaigns on X. We get a lot of our stories that come in because people found us on X, and new stories, people that never knew that we existed. So we're gonna focus on that. You can help us. Number one, like invite us. Okay, connect us with podcasters, live streams, community events where we can get our message out to the new audience. I'm going to just a shout out to Marsha Joyner because she has introduced us to so many people we didn't even know were I never met, didn't know they were in the same fight. And she's constantly, do you know this person? Do you know that? She's been in a long time, right? And so that kind of stuff is hugely helps us. And so volunteer for our X Space team if you want to help moderate, promote, speak. We need people to come on and tell their stories on X Spaces. Distribute our flyers and materials. I'll show you where to get those in the website part. And share our Substack, share our website across social media. Just spread the word. When we put a story out there, make it go viral. When we put a song out there, make it go viral. Yep, that's how you can help promote, and never back down from the truth. Thanks.
Thank you. All right. Thanks, Gail. And thanks, Heidi, for steering up this committee in the future as well. All right. I think we're going to shift now over to our Military and Engagement Committee that is headed up by, of course, Sharon Burns, but Brad Seiler is going to be walking us through. So, Brad, do you want to go ahead?
Can everybody hear me?
Yep, sure can.
Okay, good. Hi, everybody. I'm Brad Seiler, also known as Huckleberry, Gail's husband. Sharon and I have teamed up for the Military Engagement Committee. We've always suspected that the same thing that happened in the civilian hospitals also happened in the military hospitals. And we've kind of taken on this challenge to find out what actually did happen in our military base hospitals. So we've started to establish a network of current and former military personnel and joining in the effort to seek military accountability for unconstitutional mandates. Probably the most popular one is the vax mandate, but we're also calling for the hospital protocols. We're going to do this by bringing about information to the military community about what happened in the civilian hospitals regarding the treatment of victims diagnosed with the biological weapon known as COVID, to find similar cases in military hospitals. We're also calling for investigations into the roles and decisions made by the DHA, DOD, and any other bureaucracy during the lead up to COVID and the mandates, and to call for accountability, transparency, political change regarding the running of our military hospitals. A lot of things are different in the military hospitals than they were when I was in. So we're investigating how these hospitals are being run. So the last 90 days, we were able to reach out to a few select former military who are involved in the military accountability efforts, to engage them and see how we can partner with them as we move forward. We've investigated and researched one known case of former military member homicided in a base hospital. Because of the way the military is structured, and it's very difficult to get information from anybody in the military. It's a tight-knit group, but it's also, a lot of people don't know what happens in the base facilities and things like that. So it's a real challenge. And we did identify an agency known as the Defense Health Agency that played a very key role in military healthcare. We weren't aware of that agency before, and it turns out they're pretty big in what happened and is happening in our military hospitals. So going forward, the next 90 days, we want to continue to create our network within the military community to educate and investigate these crimes against humanity. We've begun to distribute flyers and materials to these communities that we have information regarding the deadly hospital protocols that were used in the hospitals. And if you want to know how you can help, you can contact us. Put us in contact with influencers, advocacy groups, media contacts who align with this mission. Volunteer on our military accountability team to engage current and former military personnel and educate them as to what happened, we believe, in military hospitals. Distribute flyers and promotional materials locally, and to share our website with people and tell your stories. You want me to go ahead and go on into the finance?
Yeah,
as
thanks,
well?
Brad. Go right ahead. Yep. Yeah, Brad is also our treasurer, so he's going to give us a finance update.
So as the treasurer, I'm a team of one. So what I do is I oversee the financial affairs of the organization, including the maintenance of financial records, legal documents, preparation of budgets, regular financial reporting to the board, and ensuring compliance with IRS and state financial reporting requirements. We'll also be working with external professionals to manage audits, tax filings, fiscal planning, so on and so forth. And you can read the rest of it for yourself. But what I've done the last 90 days is we ended the year really strong financially. And so, especially with our Lantern program, so we're well on our way to becoming, we can financially support ourselves as we move forward and grow. And we completed the application process and were approved for the IRS 501c3, which is a big deal. A lot of naysayers out there didn't think we could do it, but happy to say that we are in compliance with the IRS when it comes to 501c3. And we've established a chart of accounts to be able to track our revenues and expenses for the organization. And so I'll be working with that to streamline processes and integrate some of these things like our online store and things like that into the process. So as we move forward, we'll be closing out our fiscal period. Our fiscal period ends the calendar year. We chose that because of the way our activities align. And so we chose the end of the fiscal year to be December 31st. So we'll be closing out those periods so that we can prepare our Form 990, which is how we report publicly our financial status to the IRS, and it's also made available to the public. So be watching forward to that. And as part of our pledge to be transparent, the IRS is very lenient when it comes to how long it takes for us to file our 990s, but we plan on doing that basically according to the personal tax years, April 15th, if not before. So that's our goal, is to get that out ahead of schedule and not wait the 2-year period that the IRS allows for. And then we're going to continue to develop our accounting practices for various financial activities within the organization. Because we are a not-for-profit, specifics about our financial activities and information is restricted to the organization's officers and is made available to the board on a need-to-know basis. But be looking out for our Form 990 that we file to see our financial status and give a little insight into how we're functioning as a 501c3.
Thanks, Brad. Thank you very much for that good update. And again, thanks again for the entire board for all the fundraising that helped us, at the end of the year for the finance numbers as well. So thanks to everybody who helped us with that effort. All right, we're now going to shift over to our Victim Support and Engagement Committee, chaired up by Dr. Patty Giuliano. I think we have Patty here tonight, don't we?
I am here.
Hi, Patty.
Good evening, everybody. It's nice to be here and have all of you a part of the town hall. So first, just wanted to say thanks. And during my time in recovery from COVID and just finishing my doctoral degree, my focus has primarily been in trauma care, trauma survivor group type work. And our committee has actually grown so much in the last 90 days that I'm excited to share. We're going to have Jenny Rodriguez as a co-chair on this group, and we've got Brad Seiler, who also is part of the committee and supports us with some of the group work that he does as well. So this particular group, a lot of what we do, we provide not just the emotional support, but resources for people. And we do have direct engagement put to both victims and survivors. A lot of what we do in our group, we are driving virtual support groups, and we can also do one-on-one mentorship. You'll see that in some of the groups that we have to offer every week. We meet pretty consistently. Everybody's got a specific day and time. My group is on Thursdays, and I do specifically just trauma counseling, coaching, and a variety of different things with topics and educational items, and then open discussion. Each one of the groups, again, led by several different individuals, and Brad leading the men's group. The Monday night group is led by a variety of our board members. Sometimes I jump in and lead it as well. And then we've got a Catholic group, and I think it's going to be expanding over the next 90 days. But in the last 90 days, we've got these 4 support groups going, and they're really aimed to incorporate just grief and trauma work with the idea to really strengthen and fortify people from being wounded and in a victim capacity to really building resiliency and tenacity to become a warrior, which many have gone on to help drive not just what we do here in the group, but they're out there and they're speaking and they're sharing and they're getting involved in the community. And everybody has a place. So maybe you're just at the place where you're just learning and you're joining and you're new into the recovery. We don't expect you to get out there and drive and lead stuff, but we certainly welcome you to participate. And we'll talk more about that in just a minute. The other things that we've done in the first 90 days is just launching a variety of support videos and resources, and they're on the website as more continue to be added on a regular basis. And we connect with the public, looking at different tools, articles, and things that can help with healing and not professional, but personal goals and personal growth and recovery. What we're planning to do over the next 90 days is to increase what we have in support of guest speakers coming to some of our groups that will really help with specific topics. They might be subject matter experts. They might be out there in the community as a person who's been involved in doing things related to some of the work that we do. And just to help to provide all of you as members and part of this with different resources and tools that you can use to help you further along in your recovery, because it really is a journey. And it's a journey that doesn't have an exact designation or end. It's ongoing. It's almost cyclical, but you get farther and farther along. And sometimes you have to step back and plug into tools, plug into different things. So it's there for you for what you need, when you need it, and you're always welcome to participate in whatever level. The other things that we're working on in the next 90 days is just allowing victims to share different themes or topics. We usually ask at our meetings, is there anything else you'd like to hear about? Is there any area that we haven't touched on? What things are important to individuals as they participate in the groups? And just to know too, participation in the groups is always voluntary. We often have people sometimes that come into the groups that don't necessarily want to talk, want to be on camera. We just ask that they at least let us know a name or if there's anything that we can do to help them feel more welcomed. And a lot of our groups too, in the open discussion, we try to provide flexibility and resiliency, that giving people enough time to speak. It's really not too tightly structured, but at the same time, we do want to give people opportunities. So you will always be given a chance to hear your voice if you so decide. But we don't call on people or ask, for a show of hands. We just leave it there for people to feel comfortable where they are with the group. The other things we're looking to do in the next 90 days is just exploring some possibilities of launching different support groups for the survivors and also for vaccine injured. We've had some folks request that, and in some of the groups, we've already talked about some of these as key highlights because we have survivors and victims all across in those areas. And then just to be able to connect. Our goal is to connect with other organizations that offer support. Gail mentioned some of this earlier, may speak on more of it as soon as we wrap up here. But other support services that can offer, places to fill in where we may have gaps in the support of what we do. And we do. We try to usually put out other resources for you to extend not only what we do here at the Betrayal Project, but other groups that might be of support with information, literature, or outreaches. And how can you all help? Really, it's just about sharing that we have a group, betrayalprojectusa.org. Spread the word. There's no stone that you can leave unturned. Everywhere I even go across in my travels each day and each week, I am coming across more and more people that I hear about a loved one, about themselves, about something related to something that happened during the pandemic. And people still don't know all that we have and all that some of our other outreaches have. So keep spreading the word, talk it up. You can share information, you can share articles, you can print things and share things with family members. We're also looking for feedback. So your feedback is extremely important. Let us know if there's needs that are not met for you or in your community. And always welcome the opportunity to distribute flyers and materials. There may be places that you attend, worship services, community programs, different places. And as we continue to hear about different things that come up related to healthcare and all the things that are going on, this bug, this virus, that virus, all those kinds of things. Where can I get this medication? Where can I get that medication? It's a perfect opportunity for you to say, hey, have you heard of betrayalprojectusa.org? And give them information and let them know that resources do exist. We'd love to have you share your story. Again, a lot of the folks tonight have shared. It's really important to be heard and to not feel alone. We want to have you have an opportunity to share your story. Oftentimes, many of us, I've got a weekly podcast on Thursdays. We welcome you to come on. And I know the team's got a lot of other resources where you can speak out and share your story on a podcast. It's very healthy to share the story to help you heal. The more you talk about it, the more you share it, it doesn't change the fact of what you've been through is real, but it does help you to heal a little bit from the inside, and you're also helping other people. The last thing, just share our website across social media, put it on Facebook, Twitter, X, all those different ones. I don't have too many, but I think I have the big ones. But share it across your social media. Email it to other people. And again, there's power in our voice. Where two or more come together, it's so important when you look at how our group has grown. It becomes exponential. So share it wherever, whenever you can. Our groups are open to everybody. Just have them link into our Facebook page, to some of the other pages that the team's going to talk about tonight. And that's where we usually post meetings and dates and times, and people can link into the events. So that's what we're doing at the Victim Support and Engagement Committee. Looking forward to the next 90 days and hopefully to see a few more people in some of our support groups.
Thank you so much. And Patty, Dr. Patty, thank you so much for also everything that you've done to help us with our support groups and get them up and running. We're really fortunate to have you. So if anybody wants to join and just to listen in, again, Monday at 8 p.m. Central, right? So check us out at the support group there. And of course, the PTS group is later in the week with Dr. Patty. So thank you. All right. Now the moment everybody's been waiting for to finally see our website, which we've been working so hard on. So Gail,
I'm going to take over. Yeah, I'm going to take over the share from you.
Yeah. Go right ahead.
And share myself. I love saying the word Dr. Patty. Congratulations on that, Patty.
Thank you. I have to get used to hearing it.
Yeah. All right. So our website, the last time, let me get this over on my other screen here. The last time that we showed this, it wasn't there was a lot of coming soon functionality. We wanted to get the main stuff up, but we so much has been done. The main page, stays the same, with the key information on it, learning our hospital playbook links and putting in your story and um, viewing the stories, our mission, why we do what we do, and the officers. So that remains the same. But we built out the about section so you can look at all of our board members' um, profiles on here. And also it has their X account link and their story link. If their story's on the website, that it's got the link, and how to get in contact with them. If you want to email a specific board member, then go ahead and you can click on the board members and find and just click their email, and you can send them an email. And if you want to send all of us, or you want to send the whole group an email, you just go to the contact and the contact and fill that out. Our mission, there's a page with our mission, a page with our guiding principles that tells you about, how we conduct ourselves, our bylaws, that is our operational guide, right? It's the bylaws that we adopted as a board and voted on as a board. Those are very important. We wanted those to be all transparent to you. And then we have a pretty robust FAQ section. Just about everything that we get asked a lot, we put out there so that you can just go there and find it. And it's very organized. So it's organized by, general information and the mission, about our leadership, goals, so it's all categorized there. So go ahead and, if you want to know more about us, that's where to go. The real stories. We call them real stories because they're real. And we don't want people to think that they're not real. So we just wanted to be very plain with our language. So we have under there, we have the categories. So we have redone these pages since the last time we had our town hall. So we have three categories, right? So I'll give you an example. So hospital protocol intake. So if you lost a loved one or you were harmed, if you're a survivor or you had a loved one harmed or killed by hospital protocols, COVID-19 hospital protocols, that's where we want you to put your story in. If you were harmed or a loved one killed by the COVID vaccine, we want you to put your story in under that intake because it has additional information. We have found that a lot of the vaccine entry groups like to have the, if you have it, things like the lot number and that type of thing. And so I found out how important that information is. So that is a different intake. And then other institutional or medical betrayal. It didn't start with COVID. It didn't end with COVID. And so we have connected with a lot of groups. The Right to Fight, that fights the brain dead fight, and Marsha Joyner's group that have loved ones killed by hospice. We want to make all the other institutional and medical betrayal. We want to do those stories too. So we created an intake for that and a process for that. So the intake process is very simple. There's a hospital. This is the hospital protocol form. It's very simple information, very clean and clear cut. Some of it's optional. If you say you didn't survive, it's going to ask you for the place of death. If you did survive, it's going to ask you when you were discharged, so we know how long you were in the hospital. The biggest expansion is when you check if you were in the hospital. It's going to ask you some additional questions, and it's going to allow you to just check the boxes on these medications. And if there's any other medication that you think we should know about, you can click other and tell us what that is. But most of them should be listed there. You can attach pictures. We want to know that you're not a robot. And here's an important one. It's optional, but it helps us know if you want to be on podcasts or in other media. Because if you want to be on podcasts, we're going to connect you with everybody we know that's telling these stories so that it's not just 20 of us going on podcasts, right? It's very important that we get that out, that we get that information out. Okay, so that's the protocol is very, if you have questions, reach out to us. We'll call you. We'll walk you through it. We're pretty straightforward on that. So, and when the stories are done and we've interviewed, we try to, I would love to, have everybody go in and look at some of these stories, right? You'll see how we do our stories that in a way that honors loved ones. So like if you go to Teresa's story, it opens up with her father singing and for the family. But we want to, during the interviews, we can pull up anything you need to. We can pull up pictures of them in the hospital. We can pull up documents. We can pull up videos. We can do video clips. We can do everything you want in the interview. But in this section with the pictures, we want them to see a person who's honored and missed and loved. Okay. You don't have to worry about writing your story. We will do that from the interview itself. Okay. So, yeah, so go ahead and, go ahead and look at some of these and put your story in. Hospital playbook here. It's all here. You can send people the link or you can download the PDF. Okay. I want to show you the Get Informed. So under Get Informed, under the Get Informed, we have BPUSA in the media. So whenever we're in the media or we're doing interviews, we're going to post them all here. So if we do interviews with somebody, we're going to promote their podcast by putting their podcast and us there. We have a podcast ourselves. So our podcast is called A Nation Betrayed, Unmasking the Hidden Agenda. We've had some great guests on. We are booking guests. Me and Heidi are working very hard to put together just like a calendar of, it's recorded right now, but we may go live to live streaming soon. So, we're putting that out there. Our Substack, and then in the news, anything that is in the news that is relative to our fight, we're going to put it out here. So, so we're promoting things that are happening in the fight. We have to validate that it's not a, satire or whatever, but, validate it. If you know of things that you think should be up here, send them to us. We want to make sure everybody's in the know and informed. Our resources section is probably what I'm going to do the most here on. We get a lot of calls or a lot of messages like, where do I get ivermectin? Where do I find a doctor? I'm sick. Where do I find an advocacy form? Where do I find a downloadable? So so we built this out, and we are actually going to add another category called mental health tools, or wellness tools, so that people have real tools to deal with PTSD, grief, trauma, those types of things. So we're working on building that out, and then when we have enough resources, we'll put it out there. So under protocols and providers, we have an affiliate relationship with ResolveX Health now. Everybody always asks me where I get my ivermectin, where I get my, that's where I get it. That's where I get it. I get it, and it comes like this. Just the same stuff I got from India. They have hydroxychloroquine on there and all other stuff. So if you have time, it takes a little bit to get there, 5 days or 6 days or whatever. So don't just go and order when you're sick. But we have an affiliate link. We have the link. We have a promo code so you can get a little bit off, 10% they gave us. We also have FLCCC protocols, and it's now imahealth.org. They have doctors, pharmacies, protocols, articles. I think Dr. Patty's on there. Budesonide Works has a list. MyFreeDoctor.com, Medical Arts Healing Foundation, Remnant Care, and Dr. Bain, Doc in the Loop. So if you know of others that should be on here, send them to us. We'll check it out and put it out there. We want to build that out as much as we can. Advocacy forms. This is one that is very important. I do not consentform.com. This is a must. This is a game changer. This stays at the top because it's such a game changer. It is not a medical directive. It is so much, it is very different. So use that link. That is the legitimate form. It will always be the most updated one. That's Laura Bartlett. We are going to try to get a meeting together so people can ask her questions. I just got to work with her and Dr. Margaret's schedule. I'm talking to them tomorrow. We'll put something together. But that is where you go for that form. If you do not know how to use that form, you can go here and call her. This is Laura Bartlett as well, the hospital hostage hotline. You know, somebody who needs help in a hospital, that's who I would call. I mean, me too. You can call me, but I'm going to reach out to Laura. So you might as well just tell them, make sure people have that. And she will also call you back if you have questions about the form, just because she's a great person. HaloVoice.org, Healthcare Advocacy and Leadership Organization. If you want to know how to stay off the brain or the organ donation and not have your organs taken, they have a lot of information on that. American Frontline Nurses, they have a Remembrance Project. Make sure your story's in with them. So we're going to build out this more too. But these are resources. Y'all need to know where they are. Digital downloads. So digital downloads. We've got the hospital deadly playbook. We've got our trifold pamphlet, the flyer that you can fold and give out, put on cars, whatever. We have a one-page flyer. We have little cards that just say loved one died of COVID. Are you sure? Handout cards so you can have people come here and know the truth. We have downloads from our friends and partners. We're going to build that out more. One of the things that I get asked probably weekly actually is, where do I find the money? What the financial incentives? How can I prove to people that the financial incentives happen? Where's that report? Right here. It's the Follow the Money series, Blood Money in U.S. Healthcare Financial Incentives. It's right here. The PDF is right here. So please, that's where you find it. Other downloads too are here. And then another recommendations, websites, podcasts, books, documentaries, and movies. Please go check that out. We're going to try to promote everybody that's in this fight with us and everybody that's going to tell our stories, help us tell our stories. And then education and information is another category. We want to know, okay, and I don't know if Albert's still on, but he was. Welcome the Eagle, VAERS Aware. Make sure you're checking that out. PrEP Act, read the PrEP Act. The PrEP Act is so much bigger than COVID. So it's going to scare you when you read it all. So go make sure you understand the PrEP Act and why it needs to be absolutely gutted and dismantled and weakened. And there's many ways to do that. And Lori touched on that earlier. Make sure you read the New England Journal of Medicine Remdesivir Ebola trial so you know what's what. There's places here to file complaints. This is where you look up your nurse. You want to look up a nurse, and or if they got reports, right there. Um, and then here's another one I send out so often. People will say, "How can I show my family and my friends or so and so that remdesivir is bad, that ivermectin works?" It early C19early.org. Right here is the link. It has real-time analysis of over 6,000 studies going back to 2020. You can prove that they knew ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine and iodine and zinc worked. Over 6,000 studies of 180 treatments, 17 million hours of research. Nobody can deny, show me the science, right? Right there. So this is our resource section. We want this to be a really great tool that you go to often and you can find anything that you're looking for there. And we want to put our partners links and everything there. So get involved. Excuse me. Get involved. Join the fight. This is where you can see information about our committees. You can send in a request to join us and let us know what committee you're most interested in so we can have that committee chair and co-chair reach out to you. Support groups right here. Check, check, check. We are getting a non-denominational prayer support group going and some other ones that will be added. You just send us your interest. We'll make sure you get on the invite. This is the section Lori talked about this is where when Lori's got a call to action, it's going to be put up here. The most urgent one here right now is the Support the Essential Caregivers Act of 2025. So this gives you instructions of what you need to do to turn awareness into action. And then we have an event calendar. So all of our events are here. You can just go there. And then we've got our shop. T-shirts are coming. He should have those up in a matter of a few days or a week. And we're going to add physical products and more digital products that raise awareness. Everything on here is going to align with the mission. And if you have ideas, a lot of people will say, "Can you put this on there? Can you put that on there?" Just send us your ideas. We'll try to get it done. If we can do it. If it's something that we can create, we will. Donate button. I know it's hard to see. It's right there. The movement does cost money, so we appreciate everybody who donated and we appreciate all donations. Thank you. We know it's hard to sometimes donate. Our social media is over here in the upper right. Facebook, our X. Our Facebook group is private for a reason. Because we don't want our members being attacked. And we want you to be able to speak freely and not be censored. Our Rumble channel, our Rumble account has 3 channels. We have the real stories. So the main account has everything, but we do have it where you can drill down to the real stories, music for the movement, all the songs that are out there, and our podcasts. We're also going to be adding here's our Substack. We're going to be adding our Spotify, our Instagram, TikTok, all of the things that we do are going to be there. So a lot of stuff here. Share our website, put in your stories, get involved, and all that. So Teresa, I will give it back to you.
Sure. All right. All right. Is this my screen? I think so, right? All right. So just kind of in wrapping up here, just a high level summary. We just want to reiterate that we believe that life is a right, not a privilege. We believe that God is the author of all the life, and from womb to tomb, every life, young and old, infirm and disabled, must be respected and protected. No moment should ever be stolen by the medical protocols, government mandates, or professionals playing God. The sanctity of life is the most important battle of our time. A nation that does not protect its most vulnerable has already lost its virtue. So that's just one takeaway, that we are fighting for the right of our loved ones to live. And we really need your help. Join our team. We have many committees. You can see a lot of work. We have a lot of things, exciting things coming up in the next quarter and next year. We certainly could use any talent. Even if you just want to listen in and see how you could help, you certainly could do that. Check out our website, betrayalprojectusa.org. You can contact us on our email, and one of our team will reach out to you. So again, we're going to go ahead and now take this time to open it up for questions. There may be some in the chat that we'll address first, and then otherwise, underneath participants, you can react with your hand to raise a question. So we're going to open up to any questions right now.
And we'll take questions, comments, or snide remarks, all of them, whatever you want. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey guys. I just wanted to let y'all know real quick that this Saturday our X Space will be kind of a part one and a part two
Okay.
in information warfare. And I basically wanted to give everybody a 30,000 foot view of it. And then part two for next week, we're going to actually have victims on to talk about the ways they've been gaslit, some of which you've already heard. Gail mentioned earlier, and we're also going to apply that to the conversation we had the prior week. So that's what we've got in the immediate future for the X Spaces. And Gail, thank you and the rest of the board for allowing me to host them for you guys.
Yeah, Matt does a great job hosting. All right. Any other questions? Comments?
Gail, how much does the hospital hostage hotline cost?
It does not cost anything.
I need that, but I wanted you to share that.
Yeah. Yeah, Laura Bartlett has done that for years, and she is amazing. The Bartlett family just has given so much to this fight. We're going to do a lot more with Laura and Dr. Margaret in the coming year. Go ahead, Ronald. I see your hand up. I always love what you got to say.
Well, I just wanted to say it was a great looking website. It really is.
Thank
Very,
you.
very impressive. At some point, I'd like to be able to share my whistleblower story for the record for your website. So I don't remember the section where they have people that are from well, in my situation, I used to work at California Department of Public Health. I think it'd be good to have that for the record. So
Yes. So Heidi has a to-do to reach out to you and Julie, because we want to have both of you on our podcast to talk about not only your story, but the work that you guys have done in California, because it's super impressive.
Hi,
Very
okay.
Mr. Owens. How are
Hi
you?
Heidi, I hear your voice. How are you?
Oh, it's so nice seeing you. Yeah, let's get you and Julie scheduled. We want to get you on the podcast ASAP.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah, we were on the podcast earlier today, and I made note that I think she and I are the only ones doing what we're doing
Yep.
in the entire world, as I think
Oh,
about it.
Oh yeah,
Um,
what you're doing is so impressive. You're going throughout all of California, you and Julie, to every single board of supervisor meeting and sounding the alarms on the deadly effects of the COVID-19
right.
vaccine. You're doing God's work. Thank you.
So, and people should follow Ronald Owens on Twitter and watch some of those videos. Him and Julie, if ever there was a perfect example of how you go and cram something into 3 minutes, but they tag team so they have six. It's like they nail it every time. They get it's watch it. It's the example of how you get so much information in a short period of time, you know. So go watch that. But I can't wait to have you guys on the podcast because you've had a tremendous effect there, and we want to replicate that.
Well, Gail, I got to give credit to God.
Yes.
I did not plan this at all. If you go to my Muzzle Truth one on X and you see me standing there above my picture and there's some people standing behind me in support, that's the very first time that I stood before a board of supervisors. And when I did that, I didn't think that I was going to be doing that 56, well, up to
Right.
this point, 50 additional times. That was just the first time that I did it. And then it led to one thing to another. And then God
Yeah.
had me do with what I'm doing. And then God sent Julie. So it's a God thing.
Yeah. Yeah. We got to get your book on the website too. When you said muzzled truth, I need to make myself a note here.
Yeah, it shocks me to this day. You have been sounding the alarm to these people in California who could actually do something about it, who could actually have a voice to pull the shots. And you've been gaslit and ignored.
That's true. That's true. It's
Okay.
been an enraging experience.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to all the precious ones here whose loved ones have been murdered. And there are times that I walk about 5 miles a day. I'm walking by myself. And one time I was thinking about all this. I was out in the middle of the field all by myself on this walking path, and I just yelled, "There has to be a reckoning," real loud. There has to be.
There has
It
to
just
be.
can't be in, you know, it can't be after death. It has to be here. It has to be so you can see justice for your loved ones. It has to be here. So I'm channeling my intense anger. I've channeled my anger by writing a book. I'm channeling my anger by doing what I'm doing. I have to do something, and this is what we're all doing. We're all doing something to channel what we're doing in a positive way to help other people, and also to look after the children. I don't have any kids or grandchildren, but I have 3 nephews and a niece, and they have kids and their peers, their generation. We're doing this for humanity.
That's right.
Yes. And you're making sure that they cannot deny that they didn't know because you're making sure that they know. Every single board of supervisor across California knows because you told them.
Exactly. And after I complete with what I'm doing, every board of supervisor would have had 3 written notifications and 1 in-person appearance per county, 58 counties. And I was talking to Todd Callender. He's an attorney. You probably know who he is. And after that, I need to pull all of those emails together, print them all. It's going to be expensive, probably going to require some sort of fundraiser to do that. Print everything and send in like certified mail all the documents, paper documents, and then keep them organized in some sort of fireproof safe or whatever. So attorneys for years to come can use those documents as receipts and go after, because when these people are out of office, go after them anyway. And if their pension has to be, and I can't think of the word for that, some sort of way to hold them accountable, that is what has to be done.
Yeah, I mean, you can go after their bonds, right? There's a lot of different ways, you can I mean, they're elected officials, right? So if they don't do something, you can eventually go after their bonds.
I know it's crazy how many elected officials here and throughout California know that here in Fresno County that the babies are being born dead at a skyrocketing rate because the OBGYNs are pushing the shots on these pregnant mothers. And we know,
Still,
Oh
oh
yeah,
yeah,
oh
still
oh,
to
yeah,
this day.
still to
oh
this day.
yeah, it hasn't stopped or slowed down.
Mhm.
And we know this is occurring through the leaked email from the hospital, as you were aware of. And we know it's still happening because these nurses are screaming from the rooftops, help, and no one's helping, no one's listening. It's criminal.
It is.
Yeah.
It really
Well,
is.
we'll see how that goes. With the lawsuit and everything that Children Health. Hey, Katie, I see you got a question. Sorry, I missed your hand. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's fine. It's recent. Kind of on the same note, with what y'all are talking about. Just if anybody knows anybody in the vaccinator community and would like to start another small support group, please just reach out. I know a lot of people in the vaccinator movement, but if you'd like a smaller support group that we can just talk and kind of comb through complications and stuff. Um, I've helped a lot of people, and having a small kind of group has been beneficial for us before. So, if you know anybody interested in that would like to reach out to me, um, or anybody here, please let me know.
Hey, Katie, thank you for bringing that up because that is the one thing we we would love to have a vaccinated support group on our support group list, but we need vaccinated to volunteer and run that. I mean, we can run the protocol support groups because we understand and we can empathize and that type of thing. But yeah, that's a great point. I would love to have, maybe you and somebody else, like just yeah, poke the po you know poke around in that community and see who would
Yeah,
be.
that's why I brought it up because
Yeah,
we've got the team here and everybody
yeah,
knows the vaccinator community. So please, if you
yeah.
could,
And
uh,
if you
talk.
missed earlier, this is going to go on our Rumble channel. A lot of times people can't make it to the town hall, but we make it public on our Rumble channel and we will spread it everywhere. So if you missed the beginning, you can go back and look at the beginning. Or people who missed it, you can spread it and say like, "Hey, let's watch." You can watch at your leisure. You can skip parts. You can do whatever you want. So, yeah. Uh, any other questions, Audrey?
Hi guys.
Hello.
I just have a question. From like the former feds, whenever we told our story on CHBMP, does that carry over or do we need to go into this website and tell our story again?
Yeah, we are a different organization. They have CHBMP has their stories up, or that's a different
Okay.
organization. Former Feds is a different. It's three different like Former
Okay.
Feds is theirs, and CHBMP is their organization, and Betrayal Project USA. Yeah, and we don't use those stories. We can't use those stories. We do even a different style of story.
Okay.
And I would recommend like, even if you go and you watch a story or two on our website, just to kind of get a feel for the types of things you can send us. Um, Put in your story, and then you should get an email back that gives you a link to set up an interview. If you don't get that email, please reach out to us and we'll make sure we push that out to you. And when you set up the interview, we'll let you know like, hey, this is where you send your video clips or your documents that you want us to pull up. We'll help get prepared before that day.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. That's a great question, though. Thank you. Um, any other questions? Don't be shy. I hope everybody found this informative and helpful. We are going to do these town halls every 90 days. We're committed to transparency, and we're committed to making sure that if people volunteer, when you give time, talent, or treasure, or emotional supports, or any of that to an organization, you want to know what they're doing with it. And so we are committed to having these so that you know how to get involved, you know what we're doing, but also because we set goals regularly and we track to those goals. We meet as a team often. We are gonna in early February have our first volunteer kickoff and orientation, so that people will know how to, so if you're wanting to be included in that, go ahead and put that volunteer form in, because I'm making a list, checking it twice, and then I'm gonna I'll add you all to that orientation and get you plugged in. Teresa, you got
I just wanted to say thank you everybody for your time to join to hear what we're up to. We are really excited this year. We need all the hands we can get, but most importantly, we need the help with sharing our stories that we have already out there. And if you know anybody, please send them our way. We have a directly one-on-one. We'll be working with them to take their stories very, very in a different kind of way. So thank you all for joining, I guess is the point. And also thanks to all the board for all your time to help us put this together. Thanks, guys.
Thank you all. And remember, email if you have questions. We'll call back anybody. So
Just want to say hello, Albert. Hello, Albert.
yeah, hey Albert.
Hi, Albert. Big shout out to Albert.